Buongiorno. If you guys have ever emailed me, I'm so sorry. I just was informed and then I checked that the email that is connected to my YouTube and my website is not the email that I have linked to my iPhone. So since I've been traveling, I haven't been getting anyone's emails, and there are so many emails. I'm so sorry. So I know some of you guys wanted to join the last pod, Sacred Space group, and I just never responded. So I linked it now so I can see your emails. So hopefully it's perfect timing and we can you can do the next one. But I'm so sorry I look like such a jerk. I'm definitely one of those people that wants to read what you have to say and will respond. So I am really grateful that you guys are still hopefully following me. But anyways, maybe it's divine so we could all chat and collaborate now. So anyways, if you have emailed me, I apologize. I will be trying to get back to everybody. Yeah, my bad. I have so many emails and all of this content creating comes with building websites and just doing things. So I'm pretty techie, but I am not the best at remembering passwords and things. So my bad. So I will get back to you ASAP. So this is a disclaimer. Okay. As far as the adventures go, it's been really fun. I am back in Aosta, so in sort of northern Italy, and staying at this really nice wonderful lady's house. And I'm kind of at this precipice. I don't know what's next. I'm kind of just letting the universe drop in the next kind of opportunity. I don't really want to go home, but I also it's funny. She asked me today. She was like, "Does home even feel like home?" And I had to honestly answer and say no. I think home's wherever we are, but I don't really feel like the U.S. is resonating in such a way that I feel like home. I feel like that's where my parents are and my stuff is, but I don't really feel like it's home, which is bizarre. So yeah. So we'll do our next sacred group, and it will hopefully propel the opportunities for growth, because I really think that unless we're in service, life can't really get as fabulous as it could and should. And it's funny because it's you're being selfless sort of in its way has a selfishness to it, because you do get honored and perks and love in your experience if we have humble hearts. So I humbly, as humble as I can be, I'm really grateful for those emails. So it'll be fun. The retreat in Sardinia, the second one was really powerful. It was a lot of just feminine, but in a hungry way. I've never experienced where it's okay to just be raw and be honest with I have needs, I want this pleasure, my body says this strongly. I think for most of us, that if you're empathic or feminine in not even the gendered way but just softer, it's harder to even tell how you're feeling, because especially if you're sensitive, you can pick up what's all around you. And so sometimes it's the hardest thing is to know what you want and what you need. And I think being in this container really taught me a lot of tuning into that and being okay with that, being okay with having certain what do you want, and how can you create your life so you can get that. And it's okay to want nice things and want better people in your life. And it's been kind of sad traveling to kind of confront that. There are certain relationships that I can see now that I'm away from them that they're not serving. And I think that's another comment if you agree, but I think it's sometimes easier for empathic people to stay in relationships that aren't serving, because you have so much empathy and compassion, and it's like, oh, if you know their story, you know what they're going through, then it's like, all right, well, here's another chance and another chance and another chance. But that's, not, in order to be, let's say, living from Dharma or living in your highest way, so you can be more of service, you have to cut the cords to those that are not, that don't have your best interest in mind. And it might be totally unintentional. It doesn't mean that, like, I think a lot of people are accidentally assholes, like me too, not answering those emails. So it doesn't even need to be malicious, but it is about knowing your own boundaries in order to recognize when, something is not serving. And that can be definitely a big challenge. So that's what I've been kind of working with a lot. And I just had a really, really, really awesome session with my friend, illustrious one, and I was reminded of the power of the beam, like the more that we're living in our authenticity, and we are in this digital age that, land and landscapes don't really matter as much. So it's like you can have a friend anywhere in the world, and quality over quantity. It's like I'd rather have a small tribe than a big huge one if they're all really for me. And I think, like, being the more like content creating that I make, it's like I can get under this illusion of like it matters how many followers, and of course I want to grow, because it means more. That means, like, okay, there's more like minds out there. Like, that's of course a nice feeling, but again, like, I think that there's a lot of perspectives that most people don't share, that is like, kindness is everything, and it's not about trying to get ahead, and it will never be about a hierarchy. But I think, like, to a certain degree, success in the world, sometimes you can't get without putting somebody else down, because it is such a dog-eat-dog world. And I think consciousness and conscious business and conscious partnership and conscious self, there is no space for having to put somebody else down in order to get ahead. And I think that's the whole paradigm, is this lack. It's a quantum reality, so there is always abundance. There is always more than enough to go around. But if everybody believes that there isn't, then it's keeping that as the dominant force. And that's what I just want to get rid of. So, yeah. I'm excited to see what's next. I'm in another trust fall. I had a big scare today with my car payment going through, and I'd talked to one of my April, who went to India with me, and she's planning a retreat. She's planning several retreats, you guys, so we could actually maybe meet all around the world. And anyways, she had this idea. She's like, why don't you sell your car? Like, it's your biggest bill. And it made me realize, I'm like, it would really solidify the traveling, because it's like, okay, because when you're in California, you have to have a car. Like, you can't get anywhere. Public trans sucks. And it just made me feel like, okay, if I want this life, like I want this European experience, then like I should fucking sell my car. And then what immediately occurred to me was like, oh my god, how am I even going to explain this to my parents? Like, I know I'm an adult, but like their opinions really matter. I don't like disappointing them. And anyways, and then right after I talked to April, my mom called me on the train, and she just randomly just says, why don't you sell your car? Just out of the blue. I was like, okay, universe, I hear you. So I'm gonna try and sell my car and just go for it. Like, all guns a-blazing. Like, why not? Like, I want to keep going. I have to figure out like how to keep going as far as like my visa and stuff. And even like content creating, it's like I'm not employed by the EU, but I am going for it. So yeah, fingers crossed that there's an awesome opportunity. I feel like this call back to Paris again, and yeah, I keep getting these notifications. Like today, there an ad or a TikTok notification, and it was Victoria Paris, and then right after that it was Paris Blood, and then I looked up, and there was this in Italy, but this picture, and it was the Eiffel Tower. And it was like boom, 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 and I'm like, okay, like that's what's so funny about traveling is like you have to listen to like what is around you and what's in your heart, and seeing if those things line up for like what's the next decision or what's the next thing. Like I thought I was gonna be in India for 2 weeks, and now here we are. So yeah, but I like this growth. It's like, when else am I gonna have this experience? But I think that and another theme that came up with this last session and at the last retreat is being chosen. And I think that I'm connecting to so many people that have spiritual gifts, you guys too. Like, you're probably weird if you're listening to this channel, and to really own that, like you're chosen, like your certain gifts, the reason that you feel like a black sheep, or you feel like, you know, maybe not everybody gets you, and you know, synchronicities happen, and you know things when you shouldn't know them, like to like really lean into that, and instead of make you feel like an outsider and misunderstood, make it feel like, okay, but the universe understands me, and you are chosen, and what are you going to do with that? Because that is what changes the world, is stepping into that. And like you know, there's never been a spiritual leader that was understood. Einstein was seen as crazy, right? Like Jesus, definitely seen as crazy, but those are the people that change the whole world. And so if you feel like you're an oddball, yeah, own that, like keep stepping into it. Like those are royalty codes. That is exactly the alignment that you have to be in to be in your greatness, to be in prosperity. And that's the other thing. I think that creative people, artists, healers, like we think that like it's also normal for you to, or you think it's normal for you to have these gifts, and so it's hard to even like manifest how those gifts can take care of you. And but that's the other thing. It's like you need to be supported by your community. You need to be supported by your bank account in order to get so many things done. Like having a team, having people, being a visionary. Like you don't have to do all the paperwork. I should check my email, but like maybe if I had some help, I would have known. So it's about like receiving that, and like knowing that your value is worthy of help, and you don't have to do it all by yourself. So yeah, okay. So either email oddyoga.cmt or oddyogaofficial@gmail, and I will respond. But if you also click the link in the thing, it opens up to a link tree, which has a template to sign in and tell me a bit about yourself, about doing the sacred space groups, because I'm definitely going to start that, I think, like next week or the next week after, because it's time. Like, let's go, let's charge it. So, okay, so much love, and ciao.